Hi again, everyone. Zach Attack is here at the Atak Sportz for this Thursday, July 14th, 2016, a Rare Thursday edition, usually make it on Mondays. But it's a special edition as well, because today marks 5 years and I started making real YouTube videos with my face on it. If you didn't see my attack line, it was 5 years ago today on July 14th of 2011. I made my very first attack line. I called it the Attack Show. Because I made videos before then, like little slideshows that I used making through Windows Movie Maker. But I made videos like attack lines starting in 2011. So it's been 5 years since my first attack lines. So thank you so much for anyone who's watched any of my attack lines. Or more specifically when it comes to this, Atak Sportz, or any of my reviews for WWE, UFC, and TNA. When I used to make TNA reviews, when I used to watch TNA before they really sucked it. Despite the final deletion match, I haven't seen that match yet. I'll say that now. I didn't see that yet. For a few people that do watch TNA, I hadn't seen it. Now on with some news for you in the world of sports. Let's go with the ESPYs. I usually don't talk about the ESPYs. I never watched them. I heard of them, but never watched them. But there was one incentive to get me to watch the ESPYs this year. Super Cena got to host the ESPYs. Now, whoever hates Cena in the ring when it comes to his wrestling style, you cannot help but respect him, especially for him trying to break out of the wrestling scene, kind of like The Rock has done. Sorry, I'm battling some new good stuff. Cena's been breaking out with roles in Trainwrecked, Sisters, and hosting American Grit. So now he's hosting the ESPYs. And he was terrific. His opening monologue was awesome, by the way. Probably one of the best opening monologues in ESPY history, according to many people. He said that, why would the ESPN hire me from the WWE to host the ESPYs, despite the fact that we have a relationship with ESPN? You know, they could have got Kevin Hart. Instead, they got a guy who spent most of his life in jean shorts and proud of it. And saying, oh, you think wrestling's fake? But guess what? Wrestling and real sports has more in common than you think. Cleveland won something, referring to the Cavaliers breaking the 52-year drought of championships in Cleveland. That's actually impossible. There's no way that wasn't scripted. You even talk about Odell Beckham Jr. from the Giants saying that he already looks like a WWE superstar. He's one parrot away of being Coco Beware. Points to Cena for the reference and making all the non-wrestling fans Google Coco Beware to see who the hell he is. And then listen to Pile Driver as well. But the biggest kick was when Cena compared Roger Goodell to Vince McMahon. As a maniacal billionaire pulling the strings behind the scenes who uses every trick in the book to manipulate things to his advantage any way he can. That is a great comparison. Roger Goodell is like Vince McMahon. Especially Brady's appeal again, denied again. Anyway. So besides Cena with some great jokes and a tribute to Muhammad Ali, we had actual awards. With the big winners being the Cleveland Cavaliers. Winning Best Sports Team. Best NBA Player, Best Championship Performance, and Best Athlete for LeBron James. While Steph Curry won Best Record-Breaking Performance for most 3 points, even though he didn't win the championship. Go Bulls. Well, the old Bulls. The team that actually won a championship when they had the most wins. Speaking of Steph Curry, there was even a reference seen as like, LeBron was a good guy. Now he was a bad guy, good guy again. NBA does what we do when we need a bad guy. They make one. Talk about Kevin Durant joining the Golden State Warriors. That was a great singer. And also talk about the Cleveland Parade. There was 1.3 million people at that parade. Yet they can't produce one good quarterback. Other awards. You had Brianna Stewart from UConn winning Best Female. Best NFL player going to Cam Newton. Best NHL player, the hated here in Detroit, Sidney Crosby. and even the ones that were presented off-air, including UFC wins, with Conor McGregor, despite losing Best Breakthrough Athlete to Jay Arrieta from the Cubs. Conor McGregor did win Best Fighter, and Best Upset went to Holly Holm for beating Ronda Rousey. And Best Play, I was at this game. The Hail Mary from Aaron Rodgers at Detroit's Ford Field against the Lions. The Miracle in Motown, or the fraud at Ford Field, as Detroit fans called it, with the non-face mask call. So there you go. The winners of the ESPYs. Now, while the ESPYs was going on, UFC was going against it. It's been quite an eventful week for UFC, with a somewhat lackluster UFC 200 with only maybe one or good 2 fights. With main event in the first fight, despite being 1 round as being the best. Reviews on this channel. They got bought out a day later for $4 billion by WME. So this was the first UFC event, not just in South Dakota, but also the first UFC event post-purchase. And it was a little better than and more exciting fights than at 200. Especially the first fight, the co-main, and the main. The first fight, we had the flyweight, Louis Smolka against Ben Yin, or Niggin. I hope I pronounced his name right. That was a great first round. That first round was vicious. Back and forth action. Great striking. Great action. Big guys getting caught up. With Louis Smolka getting the TKO victory in the second round. So great first fight. Second fight was not as good as the first, but still okay. With Keita Nakamura, not related to Shinsuke. Unless he is. Taking on Kyle first one was decent. Okay action. Not much excitement. Nakamura came out of that second round with a great submission in the second round. Then the heavyweight division, we had Daniel, I hope I got his name right, Lanchuk taking on Oleksiy Oleinik. Heavyweight fights mostly suck these days. This one had a good first round. The rest of the fight was a typical heavyweight fight. Boring and unexciting. And the fans were booing for the takedowns of Daniel because he saw that this Oleg guy was a great striker and he got bloodied up by this Daniel dude. A little boring, but Daniel got the victory in unanimous decision after 3. Then we had middleweight, Tim Bosch taking on Josh Salmon. This fight was okay. First round was okay, actually not much excitement, but Bosch came out in that second round, really aggressive in that second round, getting the TKO victory over Josh after coming out with a fury in the later half of the second round. Co-main event, Tony Ferguson taking on Lando Venata, a last-minute replacement for the injured Michael Chiesa. But guess what? This co-main event was terrific. It was like nail-biting, heart-stopping. Especially that first round was crazy. You thought the first round of the Louis Smolka fight was great? This first round of this fight was awesome. Great action for both guys. Despite being a replacement, Lando held his own against one of the highest ranked lightweights around, Tony Ferguson. But Ferguson came alive in that second round, blooding up Lando in the first, blooding him up more in the second, and getting the Doss choke in the second round to get the victory, solidifying his spot in the lightweight division. Maybe he wants a shot at the new lightweight champion, Eddie Alvarez. Now into our main event. In the featherweight division, we had John Lineker taking on Michael McDonald. This was a vicious fight. It was the first rounder, but it was still a fun first rounder. With Lineker coming out swinging for the fences early, looking aggressive, getting a nasty knockout punch to McDonald to get the victory in the very first round, giving him and also Louis Smolka performance of the night bonuses, and deservingly so, the McCall-Main, Tony Ferguson and Lando Venata getting the Fight Night honors. It was interesting seeing the WEC announcer be the announcer for this event, not Bruce Buffer. So, there you go. Now, a lot of WWE news. Let's get to Raw. If you hadn't noticed, I didn't make a Raw review. I did not get to watch Raw live. I was at Raw in Detroit. I saw Duran Duran. Don't make fun of me, but I'm a disc checker like all various music. So I missed Wall. I thought I DVR'd it, but the DVR fucked up. And then get to record Wall. But I did see it on Hulu. Like a condensed version on Hulu. For what I saw on Hulu, it was interesting. Battle Royal, the tournament #1 contender for the IC Championship. Darren Young won? Wow. Coming back after his vignettes, got a good pop in Detroit. But Jim Cesaro winning it. But hey, it'll give Darren Young a little push. Even with his silly vignettes. You know, those vignettes did nothing for him. And it was a fluke win, too. Because both Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin limited themselves. Yay, new feuds for them. They feud against each other. Apollo ends his feud with Sheamus. And finally, Corbin ends his feud with Ziggler. That could be a setup for the feud because of their double elimination. Setting up the win for Darren Young. Also, you had Cesaro against Kevin Owens. And the Wyatts and the New Day fighting at the Wyatts compound. Now, the timing was peculiar. Because it came right after the final deletion match from TNA between Brother Nero, Matt Hardy, and Jeff Hardy. It was like an untraditional fight. It was like a different style of match, reflecting the style of the filming. And New Day and Wyatts came at the wrong time. It felt more like a whip-off of TNA. Usually it's the opposite. TNA whips off WWE. But this time WWE unintentionally whipped off TNA. Because the timing of this was really peculiar, coming right after the final deletion match. So, and it was very interesting and creepy. Some call it whip-off, but since I didn't see the final deletion match yet, because I don't watch TNA that much anymore, like I mentioned, it was different. And it set up a 6-man tag, non-title, New Day against the Wyatts at Battleground. And it's interesting that Owens had a great match with Cesaro, and he has a big feud with Sami Zayn at Battleground, yet Cesaro's not doing anything at Battleground. Sad. Maybe after the draft they'll give him something when he's on that roster. And of course now you got Miz and Darren Young for the Championship and US title. Rusev defends against Zack Ryder. Love you, Ryder, but Rusev crush! So there you go. And also with a tag team match, women's match, should know this was going to happen. Sasha Banks and a partner of her choice, we're guessing Paige, will team up against Dana Brooke and Charlotte at Battleground to continue the Sasha Banks Charlotte feud and to save that match for SummerSlam 1-on-1. So there you go with that. So that's my thoughts on Raw from what I've seen. Also, Club against Enzo and Cass. Fun tag team match. We've seen it coming in. Last minute cameo. After rehearsing for the ESPYs that day. Didn't think he'd make it to Raw in Detroit, but he made it. Especially for the dark match main event. WWE's coming back in Detroit for SmackDown Live in December. So, there you go. Now, on with some NXT stuff. Yesterday was NXT. Nakamura against Finn Balor. Fun matchup. And it took up the entire hour. It might be Finn Balor's last match. Because Nakamura won the match in a fun match. It was a slow start, but once it got going, Some nasty moves back and forth. Action for both guys. With Nakamura winning after various Kinshasa. Boombayah, I still call it. And Shinsuke might be challenging Joe soon for the NXT Championship. Brooklyn? Anywho, also besides that, the CWC premiered last night. Awesome first episode. You had Gran Metalik, great Mexican luchador person. Great showing in the first matchup. I forgot who he faced. Oh, it was Alejandro Saz. For an opener. Then you had Ho Loon against Daivoi's brother, Araya Daivoy. Not as good as the other match. But these are matches with a great crowd reaction for Ho Loon. Ho Loon. He could be a breakout. especially getting the win over the boy. And then we had 2 well-known names in 2 matches. Former Ring of Honor star Cedric Alexander was in action taking on Clement Patu. Too tight. Think I would have Jerry Lawler doing it. Fun matchup with Cedric looking good. And the main event match, and Cedric won, by the way. He'll be taking on the winner of this match, Kota Ibushi against Sean Maluta. Best match of the night for that CWC. Awesome showing for both guys. I'm an Ibushi dude because I'm a New Japan guy. He looked awesome. But Sean Maluta impressed me. He's a better Samoan wrestler. Better than Reigns is all I gotta say about this guy. 10 times better than Reigns because he's part of that Samoan heritage. This game demolished by people like Tamina and the Usos. And of course, Borman Reigns. So fun main event for the CWC, especially like Maluta, man, the crash and burn, he almost botched a splash off the middle rope, but he came back strong. Nasty kicks, nasty moves. But Ibushi came strong, even recovering from broken neck. Looked awesome in the match. Both guys looked fantastic. Ibushi won. He'll be taking on Cedric Alexander in the Sweet 16. Of course, continues on every Wednesday after NXT on the WWE Network at 9. NXT at 8. So, and speaking of NXT, today, WWE announced a very special edition of the upcoming 2K17 game with Brock Lesnar on the cover and Goldberg's a playable character. They always have like a collector's edition every year. Like a Taker edition or an All-Star edition. Now they got the NXT edition of WWE 2K17. The big box costed $99.99. So I had to do that. It'll feature the video game, the enhancement pack, to include 3 downloadable characters that won't be, because a lot of probably NXT guys are in the main game. The full list of stars ain't announced yet for the main game, but downloadable to the NXT edition will be Apollo Crews, Nia Jax, and Shinsuke Nakamura. It also features a canvas-to-canvas lithograph done by a guy, autographed by Shinsuke Nakamura because it's of him. A collectible 8-inch Demon Finn Balor figurine. A Topps trading card for NXT London featuring floor mat from the event. And of course, Goldberg, the downloadable character that comes with the pre-order. So there you go. The NXT edition will only be, I think it's only like 1,500. No, 50,000. 50,000. Interesting. 50,000 copies of this NXT edition coming. You probably get it in stores and probably on various online outlets like Amazon, WWEshop.com, various others, in 2K17's website. So there you go with that. And so, and with some short news on wrestling. Told you about Cena being the host of the ESPYs, signing a deal with the production company behind American Grit to do more shows. The wrestling community cannot be more proud of its other major star, wrestling star turned movie star. Of course, referring to the great one, The Rock, as he has just been crowned the highest paid actor in the world. Wow. Very interesting. So congrats to The Rock for that huge honor of being named now the world's most paid actor. We've smelt it for years in the wrestling world, but now all of Hollywood have finally smelled what The Rock is cooking, baby. So congrats, Rock, on that great honor, man. And you deserve it. You deserve it. You worked hard, man. In the wrestling ring and in the movie screen. You deserve it, man. So with that in mind, that's it for the Atak Sportz. You've been attacked by the sports news from Zach. See you all later. Yeah.